Autumn's here, and here we are at Cheap Gardens, done on the cheap, and I'm Johnny Plop, and here we are today with a very special guest, a man who's well renowned in the gardening world and also in the wildlife world.
Sit here. Yeah.
He knows everything there is to know about gardening and anything to do with the animals or stuff that's in your garden. And anyway, that's enough about me. We don't want to listen to me chatting on all night, do we?
Yeah.
So tonight we have Graham Garden.
Hello. Is this me now?
You're on, Graham. How are you? Been a long time.
Yeah, not so bad.
You're a bit blurred. It's a bit foggy.
Oh. Is this better now? Better?
No, I'm leaning back, but you're still a bit too...
I'll tell you what. Is this better? I'll go here.
There, perfect. That's clear as a bell. Clear as a dewdrop on a winter's morning.
Oh.
And what a wonderful weather we're having.
Do you know what? Graham, while we're here, I love the weather today. Everyone was saying it was jolly bad weather today, but I bumped into a duck today.
Literally.
No, quite literally. And it was awful.
You must be quackers. Did he send you a bill? Sorry.
No, but what happened was, we had a lot of rain today, didn't we? And
oh, we did. Not very good for some of the plants.
But what happened? I bumped into a duck, and I said to the duck, "You must be bloody loving this weather." And he said, "Not really. I bloody hate the rain." I couldn't believe it.
Okay, so anyway, today we're going to be talking about garden pests. Some of the things that really can destroy a good garden.
Really cute.
And one of those major problems that we have are moles.
Woodlice. They're coming through right now.
I was going to talk about moles, but if you'd like to talk about woodlice is okay. So, have you got any good tips for eradicating woodlice?
Sure.
Because they get under your pots, don't they? You lift a pot and there they are.
Puree.
And yes, and what do they what do they actually do, and how can you get rid of them?
The thing is, woodlice don't actually like wood.
Don't they? That's amazing.
But you would think by
what do they like?
If you put a bit of licorice down, I always find this. If you put a bit of licorice down in the garden, buy a bit of bark, and not the orchestra chap, but a bit of bark, I always find, with licorice.
Are we talking about like a blackjack or a pipe?
No. What happened to me was, and she says, have you ever been swung around by the fuzz? And what happened was, you put the licorice down, and well, by all accounts, they disappear because they all tried to nibble at it.
Right.
By the morning, they're all gone.
So back to the type of licorice.
Sure.
Would a sherbet dib dab suffice?
Well, of course, now you've opened a whole new can of beetroot there, because...
But it's important, I think, for our listeners to know, what to use and where they can get it from and what sort of cost. Because don't forget, this is cheap gardens.
Well,
and
for some people, I mean, not all, but some people really do love their gardens, and by Jove, I love my garden myself. I mean, why would I be here otherwise? But
for the money.
Well, there is that at all. I love it with a passion, just like the fruit. But the thing is that unless you have a lovely piece of conifer in your garden, nothing else would suffice. Because the thing is, unless you have lavender in your garden, you can never relax, because the lavender does certainly help keep away the foxes and also the mice, because they just retract every time they come in your garden. You must have a bit of lavender, simply.
Okay, and the moles?
Well, you know, I can't help them. They just they're blemishes. I like you know, we can't help the way we're made. Can you, love it?
We're talking about the moles in your garden, you man. Oh, you're such a card. You really are.
You know, the thing is, unless you have a really good pair of Wellingtons,
yes,
you will never be able...
No garden should be without a good pair of Wellingtons.
Sure. But the thing is, Wellingtons and a lovely sturdy pair of jalapas, I always find is the best way to, you know, ride a horse.
Really? Do you know what I find good? A nice pair of fishing waders. You know, some bit of plastic that comes right up to the groin.
Yes.
You know, a nice tight fit.
Why are they called waders?
Waders, because you can wade in the water.
Of
course, silly man. Oh.
And then
So,
catch a fox. How would you catch a fox?
set them on the bloody moles.
Yes, barbecue.
Yes, that's a good way. Anyway, so anyway, back to your gardening tips.
Yes.
We've had a letter from a Mrs. Miggins from Swansea.
Lovely name.
And she's got a particular...
If you're watching, Mrs. Miggins, thank you for writing in.
And she sent us in a lovely piece of cake, a little bit of
I love almonds.
a little bit of carrot cake that she it's organic from her garden, and so we'll have a little bit of that later.
Sure.
And
I love cake.
she sent us in a letter because she's got a particular problem with squirrels. They keep nibbling on her. Yes, exactly.
Well,
and she's finding them a real pest.
Sure.
Any tips?
Well, there is only one way to skin a rabbit, and...
No, squirrel.
I always get those two mixed up. They're very similar. Different sized tail, of course. One's a long, one's a bunny. The Playboy bunnies don't wear squirrels' tails, but...
But did you know that squirrels are actually rats with disguises on?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Shank Redemption. I did, in fact, see a programme about that a little while ago. How to deal with the squirrel population. It's indigenous right now. The bastards. And
because they've wiped out the red squirrel, of course, haven't they? All in down this area.
Sure.
You know, you can get them up north.
Up north.
You know, they're very lucky up there. You know, they have the squirrels and we have all the money. Anyway. So, yes, but thank you, Mrs. Miggins, because I hope that's answered your query.
I hope I've answered that.
Yes, now we have another letter from Jackson Pollock. And he would like to know, what's the story with your hat? Apparently,
that was a letter.
Yes,
about my hat.
A letter about your hat. He saw it last week, and he said, "Why?"
Well,
and where did it come from? It's a wonderful hat.
The thing is, this squirrel hat is made out of blue tit hair, and
blue tit, but it's pink, man.
Well, it's the springtime. You know. And we're in the autumn now. So.
And of course, viewers that wouldn't know, the blue tits, their plumage does turn pink in the springtime.
Sure. And, well, the thing is, what you have to do is lay some breadcrumbs down, and they follow them in, and the plumpest ones into a little trap. You take all their wings off, and then set them free again, and they'll just walk to the nearest McDonald's.
And
sure.
and you made a hat out of it.
I did, yeah. And now we're selling them all. We've sold them to Pierre Cardin, and selling them all over the tie rack, all over the Piccadilly line.
Lovely.
Sure.
Actually, it looks quite like I've got a pink perm.
Well, look at your own hat, you idiot.
Mine was actually made from
plumage.
No.
Peacock plumage.
No. It was made in
Vietnam.
in Tesco's. Yes.
Metalhead.
No, Tesco's. Cherokee, I believe.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we've got one more final question for you.
Yeah.
And this is from. Sorry. Yeah, this is a question from Rita Skivers, and she would like to know what to do when her roses are attacked by dozens of aphids.
Now this question.
Aphids aren't they? Aren't they just?
The bugger. See, do you know the plumage of a rose tree is all about...
Isn't I'm sorry, but this is a gardening program, isn't it? A rose bush.
Oh, no. See, that's a mistake a lot of people make.
Really?
Plumage of a rose bud starts from the hem of the seed. What you must do is cut it in the April, seed it in the spring, and let it breathe in the winter. A lot of people make that mistake early on and dig up the potatoes far too early.
But that's the advice that we need, because you're saying
Sure.
what? Dig it up in the April and seed it in the spring.
Dig it in the
But isn't April in the spring? Cross wires. There's obviously a very fine line of dates and times.
Google it, sir. Google it. But the thing is, dig it in the April, seed it in the spring, and let it free in the March. In the March.
In the March, what?
In the March.
Go back in time.
Sure.
So go back in time.
Yeah.
Before they were seeded.
March.
And then you're going to have no problems with aphids.
No, set them free. The aphids will disappear, and you'll find the aphids on the cabbage patch in the winter time.
Right, okay, so you can actually keep going back in time and miss out winter altogether.
Sure.
And just have summer all year round.
Apart from the turkey, of course.
Yes, well, we'd have to come back for that and a nice spot of port and maybe... I beg your pardon?
Nothing.
What have you seen?
Nothing.
Do we have a little visitor to our garden?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, we're looks like we're out of time, and that's from Cheap Gardens R Us, and well, it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from what?
Harry Wiggins.
I don't believe it was Harry Wiggins, but whatever your name was, I'm sure it's a good one.
Yeah.
So
next Wednesday, 8 o'clock.
Next Wednesday we'll be talking about weevils.
Wobble, but they don't fall down.
No, weevils. Weevils, and we're going to be talking about hedgehogs.
Sure.
And their plight.
Yes.
And they are having a hard time of it, aren't they? Yes, and we might have a little chat about the cricket.
And beavers.
And beavers.
Beavers.
If you're lucky enough to have a nice river at the bottom of your garden, like we are, because it's a cheap program because we've got lots of money. Yes, but anyway, if you've got a beaver in your garden, we'll be telling you about the best way to eradicate it. Maybe with a large gun. Goodbye. And we'll see you next time. This